Da 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 da! What's my good cheer? Oh, let's try that again. Da 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 da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes. Get those notifications out. Let people know I've gone live. In the meantime, if you've never met me before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside, and you can see that I am dressed for the outside. I get the snow pants on. I don't know how cold it is. Sometimes this is a good idea to check the weather because I kind of overdressed yesterday for work. I was like the Pillsbury Doughboy, right? But coming home in the evening when things start freezing up, right? You kind of thankful that you were the smarty pants that put on the snow pants, or right, got your ears covered, and you got a big muffler. I was happy, and on top of that, I got a little bit of a cold. I searched my house last night when I came home, right, to give myself a little bit of that COVID test just to make sure. But I'm going straight to work, and I should have blown my nose before I came in live. That's the worst, right? Um, I'm gonna go to work and make sure that everything is good that way before I start serving my customers. I got a face mask in my bag. It's my first cold. Oh my goodness. I have no idea. I have a couple of run-ins, right, with the stomach issues, but with the colds, I have had a pretty good run. In fact, I haven't had COVID yet, right? I haven't gotten sick yet, and I've taken all my vaccinations and I take the boosters, right? By my own choice. We all get to make our own choice, but if I should get sick right now and it happens to be, and I'm going to have to understand because somewhere's in the back of my mind, it's in that building of resilience. And if we let the vaccines take care of that stuff that the body naturally, right, plagues, and this is what it is, right, have been around for thousands and thousands of years. I think they tracked one back 5,000 years ago. No, in fact, they did test on Neanderthal remains, and or maybe not Neanderthal, but Neolithic, right? In the Neolithic period, and they did these burials, and they did the tests, the DNA tests and the genetics, all that science stuff and everything, right? And they actually discovered, and as I'm babbling away, I lose my thought. The plague. They found the plague. And in one group, especially, it was really, really high. And then others, there were like one person with the plague within a small group of people. So they actually think that the DNA is compromised over thousands of years, that this is why they're not picking up. They actually did the tests in England, right, during the Black Plague. So they dug up some of those graves and did DNA and genetic tests, all that science stuff, right? And they had a hard time finding the plague and a lot of the buried, and they said that those were no question plague victims, right? So maybe the breakdown in the DNA is a little bit different. It's a little bit harder to track, but they have tracked it back, right? Like I said, to the Neolithic where they did those tests and they found it. Maybe not prevalent, but it was around thousands of years ago, right? And I think a lot of our humanness is that ability to evolve, not just emotionally and mentally, but physically. And I believe a lot of what we're going on right now is in that next stage of evolution because this has got too big for this, right? And actually that's a good way of putting it, and it's in that adjustment, and that's what it is, right? It's not something like end of the world, or right, or put people in a state where they don't want to carry on in passing down those genes, right? It's in our survival, and it's in our capability of not going extinct, right? To be able to ride those waves, to be able to untangle those wires, to have a little bit of recognition and a little bit of calmness for your soul that you can actually maybe even enjoy the ride, right? And that is a possibility. I mean, a lot of my life was, right, not even close to understanding any of this, and a lot of my best times, the most joyful, happy, full of love, oh my goodness, right? And of course the struggles and the heartbreaks and the frustrations, right? But sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's worth it in those experiences to have those struggles. And again, right, if I were to keep taking those boosters, how would I build up that resilience for when those difficulties do arise? That, right, I might not have boosters around, and I won't have that medical team, and I'm stuck with it, fighting something I've never fought before, where other people like my sisters had it like a half a dozen times, right? But I'll take the test when I get home. Okay, you guys, we only have 10 minutes and then I've got to run off in that job that puts the roof over my head. Grateful for that job. And we're going into a busy week and I have to keep my energy high. So you're getting the first of it. Hopefully it's not the last of it for the day, but if it is, I'll adapt, I'll conquer, right? I'm just as much a good designator as somebody who jumps into the mix and physically does it themselves. And I know I'm going to try. I know I'm going to try anyway, right? Okay, you guys. Let's pick a word, first perspective, first thing that comes into my mind, and then we'll just chew on it for a couple of minutes before I run off. Wow, you guys, look at that. Serendipity. Go back into yesterday's, and all week, you guys, all week it's in having that balance, these small hiccups, the runny nose. I hope I don't get a little red spot underneath there for keep wiping it, because you guys don't need to see a running nose while I'm going live. But in that commitment to my brand, I show up and it's just a cold, it's just a runny nose, right? We adapt, we conquer, and we get through that, right? Like we get through everything. But it's in that balance of bringing joy and smiles and those small considerations to ourselves, and that feeling when we do those small considerations for others. It's where I started out. I like little drummer girl. I had nothing to give. Right, but I had so much to give in that little drummer girl idea. And it's my time, it's my ear, it's my understanding, it's my own determination to digest lessons properly and use that discernment as what's true for me and what I can just, right, maybe not throw away or toss away, but to put to the wayside, or to shelf it, not maybe for this moment that I'm in right now, but who's to say what moment is coming up? I wasn't expecting this cold, right? And then I have those resources and those tools and that information on the shelf. Oh, Cindy, you got a cold. Okay. Vitamin C. Vitamin C, some fruit juice, right? Whistle while you work, hold up your own, build a little bit of resilience, try not to whine so much, come home and be all proud of yourself, right? And sometimes it's in those small accomplishments that we get joys, right? If you're anything like me, in that accomplishment, it's a big one for me, right? That I get joy in, and just going into work when you're not feeling good sometimes, safely, making sure you're not getting your customers sick. I work with a lot of vulnerable, so I want to make sure that everybody's safe. But I'll wear my face mask on the bus. I'll wear my face mask at work. I'll take my test, and we'll take it from there. And I'll let you guys know how that all worked out. But it's in, right? You just kind of make those decisions while these things are kind of moving in your system and in your space, in your universe. And right, sometimes we're not expecting it, sometimes we don't need it, sometimes we don't want it, and sometimes it's kind of curious thing. You go, well, this was the plan, but here's a resource and here's a tool. Is it procrastinating if that tool's not available for me at this moment? But with a little bit of space and a little bit of patience, that it could be. And yeah, we can go on to the next goal. These are things going through my mind this morning, and I got to make sure that I'm just not, right, holding on to my money, right? Sometimes in our fear of not expecting and not knowing what those next few days are, those next few things that are going to come across the path that's going to throw a wrench in it, that you want that little stockpile just to keep you safe. But at the same time, when you got goals, right? You got goals. And that is all part of it too. That's all part of it too. Sometimes it's just in that busy of keeping ourselves off of those things that we can't do anything about anyway. It's all spilt milk. But you know us, we just kind of, and then we'll drive ourselves crazy and we'll drive everybody else crazy. I had this conversation with a customer yesterday about the news. I says, I don't watch the news. And she goes, oh my goodness, and this is going to happen. And you're going to have no idea. I says, these things, the information gets to me through conversations, through content that's being suggested to me in lessons and stuff, in small titles, in videos. Quite often I see that through my customers, right? I know Prime Minister Trudeau stepped down. Okay, that's some good information to know. But do I need to be staring at the screen, driving myself crazy over that? No, I don't. In that balance of keeping my sanity, right? I'll keep that delving and solving and right for my own movement. And that movement, I think, would be better sourced because I know exactly in getting that information and taking in those lessons and having those experiences and conversations where it might, right? With the, and I don't mean to direct, but do what you love, right? And in that gift that was gifted me, to give it back. Let that reward, and that's all part of the balance too. Okay, you guys, I really do gotta run off. We are done for the week. If you want to come in on Sunday night and hang out with us, I have a great crew over there. Chatters Live Sunday night, 7:30 Central, within 5 minutes. I'm in there. And if not, we'll see you Monday, right? With another card. And maybe I'll get some of these done, right? Picking up some extra shifts, dealing with the cold, right? But sometimes it's in that balance that we prioritize, right? To make sure that we're getting everything done. Everything done. Okay, you guys, that's my good cheer. See you Monday. Bye. Okay.